What is something that you would like in the future? I mean, as far as in a perfect Mike, in a Gatto world, what is your ideal perfect thing that you would like to become reality?
Are you talking legislatively or personally?
Yeah.
I mean, I want to win the lottery. Legislatively, next year we're going to be working on a whole lot of things. We're still collecting ideas. What I usually do is during the fall, we collect ideas from people, and then we talk them over with my staff. We see what we can do, and then in January we actually introduce some of these bills. But what I'm going to be focusing on a lot is trying to make sure that there's a healthy economy, that there's enough jobs and employment in Southern California. We're going to be doing a package of things to try to make sure that the economy really thrives, and perhaps things to make sure that tax law is more fair. And also, something that I think is very important too is privacy. Really in increasing years, I mean, we've seen things like, the school districts snooping on kids' Facebook pages and all sorts of just weird privacy things that I don't think are right. And I'd like to try to keep this land the land of the free, and make sure that there's some more privacy.
If there is anybody, and we did talk with Mary, and I was very thankful that the Armenian community you got to pick wonderful staff with bilingual, and people could go up to her and ask her questions. How easy is it for someone to come and speak to you? Do you have an email, a website? I mean, how could people come and voice their concerns?
So we try to be as responsive as possible, and in the modern world, there's a million ways to be responsive. I actually, against my staff's wishes, I handle my own Twitter account, my own Facebook account. So, of course, everything from the most cutting-edge technology, for the younger generations, if people want to find me on Twitter or Facebook, it's, twitter.com Mike Gatto, facebook.com Mike Gatto. But the more conventional way that people contact us is they just give us a call, or they see me at an event, or they see my wonderful staff at an event, and they just say, hey, I'm having a problem with this, or I'm having a problem with that, or I've been waiting for my driver's license to arrive for 6 months and the DMV has lost it, or I'm having a problem with my unemployment benefits, or whatever. And we will get to work on it right away. There's no wrong way to contact me is what I'm trying to say. Phone call is fine. They can walk into my office. We have this office here on Magnolia in Burbank. People are welcome to walk in anytime. And whatever we hear, we will try to respond back. And then, of course, email. We get thousands of email a day about just about every issue.
I'm sure you do.
Yes.
And you address them very quickly.
We try.
You do, and that's quite remarkable, and thank you for that. What kind of subjects do people come and ask you? I mean, what could an assembly member, I know we spoke about it with Mary, but I would like you to repeat that. What kind of problems, or what could an assembly member handle or take care of?
So just about anything having to do with the interface between a constituent and state government. For businesses, this could mean things like unemployment insurance. It could mean problems with the California tax authorities, the Franchise Tax Board or the Board of Equalization. For individuals, it's things like unemployment. It's things like food aid, what used to be called food stamps, which is now called the CalFresh program. It's anything having to do with the DMV, with Caltrans. So one day we woke up on a Saturday and our phones were ringing off the hook, and somebody said, Caltrans was working on the freeway in Glendale, and they cut down 19 trees that were blocking. Well, it was very important to those homeowners because the trees were blocking the noise from the freeway, and they cut them down. So, we got Caltrans out there to plant new trees and plant bigger trees. And so, it's really anything and everything. And I've told my staff to take a different view than I think is typical, and that is, if someone calls and says, hey, I need a pothole filled, don't say, hey, that's Glendale. We are not the city of Glendale. Go, call their Glendale. We will say, okay, we'll take the location of the pothole, and we will call Glendale. Because, when people call an elected official, it's my experience that they are already at their wits' end. They're already upset with government. They already have not gotten justice.
That's true.
And so we try to just be as responsible as possible. If someone calls us with an immigration problem, we don't say, hey, we're not the federal government. We will usually call Congressman Adam Schiff or Congressman Brad Sherman, and we will have them know that we're passing along the case as well. So, they're welcome to call us or email us with anything is the message.
You have received numerous awards. I know that you belong to, you're a chair of the Appropriations Committee,
Correct.
I believe.
Correct.
What is that? What are your responsibilities as chair?
Sure. So the Appropriations Committee handles any bill any legislative proposal that has a cost to the state of over $75,000. If you think about it, that's just about any law. I mean, if somebody wants to pass a law changing the rules for recycling cans, or wants to pass a law changing the amount of money that goes to the schools, just about anything has a cost to the state of over $75,000. And so those bills go through my committee. We then engage in a cost-benefit analysis. How much does this cost, and what is the benefit for the state? And then we weigh them very carefully. And then together with the committee staff and the other committee members, we make a determination if these bills should go on to the floor. Meaning that should they be put up for a full vote, do they merit, together with the benefits of the bill, do they merit the bill passing? Or is it that the cost might be too expensive given the policy and should be something that should not go to the floor? There's also been some things I've done that I think might be of particular interest to the Armenian community locally. These are things like, I'm so honored to have St. Leon's Cathedral in my district. I mean, every time I go there, I feel like I'm in Europe somewhere. It's such a beautiful structure. The people who go there are very, very beautiful people, and I mean beautiful in the heart and externally. And I just really feel at home there. And a few years ago, right after I took office, they had told me that they were having a really hard time getting signs for the big opening, the big opening where Pontiff Karakin II was coming here. And so the Archbishop called me and said, can you get us the signs? We've been waiting 3 years to get our signs so that when people pull off the freeway, they can know where to go. I was able to get them in 3 weeks. It was
Wow.
amazing. Very much thanks to Caltrans and obviously to the Archbishop for working so hard on it too. We got the signs up just in time for the kickoff, and that's something very local, very important. But then I think as California goes too, we also have the ability to affect vast international policies. For example, the government in Azerbaijan is going around in Sacramento trying to convince California to be a better trading partner and trying to convince them to pass resolutions that are pro-Azerbaijani. And I mean, this is a country that has done some very disturbing things.
That's true.
Not just partnering, back during the Armenian genocide, not just 100 years ago. We're talking in the last 5 years have done some very disturbing things. Yeah. And so just me being up there and educating my colleagues, hey, don't sign this, don't introduce a resolution. I mean, the Armenian community has suffered a lot in the last 10 years at the hands of the Azerbaijani government. And so that's something that is very important, because California is the 8th largest economy in the world. We have a 10th of the nation's population. We set the trends for the rest of the nation. And I've been able to obviously commemorate the genocide every year in the Capitol, which is important that such a big state does it. And then it's also things as simple as, there are lots of museums in California that, in some cases, they have looted Bibles and things that were taken from victims of the genocide. Mm-hmm. And then it's sitting in a museum. And I think that those things should go back to the families, or they should go back to the nation of Armenia. I don't think these things, which are in many cases treasures that were looted from people, I don't think they should be sitting in a museum somewhere to look at like it's some sort of freak show. So I've worked on those things, and then I was able to get a law passed, which got struck down by the federal court system, that would have allowed victims of the Armenian genocide descendants to sue in California court. Because I think,
I remember that.
By and large, we have a court system in California that's more fair. They're used to dealing with these issues. I don't need to tell you that a lot of families had insurance policies. The family would be wiped out. The descendants got nothing. The money is sitting there somewhere, and I think the family should finally get some justice. There is hope, though. The court said, well, California can't do this because the federal government has not recognized the genocide. So whenever people ask what's the significance of the federal government recognizing the genocide, it's not just the symbolic thing. It's about justice. It's about money. It's about making sure that people get compensated. And so, but they left, the court left something open. They said, maybe if you rewrite the law and you just say if someone was massacred, right, and there are a lot of people massacred, yes, that they can collect on their insurance policy. So I'm working with some of the lawyers who handled some of these cases, and we're thinking about ways that we can maybe reintroduce this law so that people can finally have some justice. I mean, 100 years is a long time to wait.
Very long.
And it's at some point, it's like it just adds insult to the injuries. And so we're gonna do some things next year that hopefully are really neat. And it's an honor to be on the forefront of these issues. I mean, it's really neat. When I first took office, I was having a hard time managing my time with my family. My wife got very upset at me. for a very long period. And so honestly, the best award that I get is when my kids say, "You're a good dad." I mean, like, that is the greatest award. When I come home at night, my 3-year-old just runs in the door and jumps on me.
Well, I saw this beautiful picture of you and your daughter, and it is an amazing. This was taken.
My swearing in this year, and so that's on the floor of the legislature. And she's a really good kid. She's a really, really special kid.
It's a beautiful picture. You're
thank you.
truly blessed.
I am.
And we are truly blessed on the 43rd District of having you as our Assembly member.
Thank you.
I would like to say thank you again for
Of
being
course.
on Lights on LA.
Thank
And
you.
truly, we're honored.
Thank you very much. It was my pleasure to be on the show.
I wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.